This is Al Capone, the legendary gangster known as Scarface, who is the most recognizable and infamous mobster in American criminal history. Capone's biography is a riveting fusion of brutal crime, riches, and the ever-present shadow of police enforcement. His life is cloaked in mystery, folklore, and infamy. In this investigation, we will dig deep into the life of Scarface and expose the sinister truths that shaped Al Capone, the man behind the legendary name. So, what did Al Capone do to become America's most infamous mobster? How did he get his nickname Scarface? And more importantly, why did he move from New York City to Chicago? The answer to this last question might have a very strong correlation to his passing. So, who was Al Capone? Al Capone, whose original name was Alphonse Gabriel Capone, was born to Italian immigrants on January 17, 1899, in Brooklyn, New York. His young life was defined by crime, brutality, and infamy, and he would go on to become one of the most notorious and powerful gangsters in American history. Al Capone was born into a rough neighborhood and began his criminal career at an early age. He quit school in the 6th grade to join a street gang under the name of Rippers of South Brooklyn, where he later became known as Scarface due to a facial scar he sustained in a fight in 1917. During a fight at the Harvard Inn, Capone's face was slashed after he insulted a female. Her brother stepped up and retaliated, leaving him with 3 scars. Married life of Al Capone. Despite his involvement in organized crime and his legendary public image, Al Capone's marriage was characterized by commitment and stability. He got married to May Josephine Coughlin, also known as May Capone, and the couple remained together throughout the turbulent years of Capone's criminal operations and eventual imprisonment. Family. Shortly before their marriage, in 1918, the couple gave birth to a son called Albert Francis "Sonny" Capone. In many aspects, their family life seemed typical, and Al Capone was frequently presented as a devoted husband and father when he wasn't involved in illegal activity. May Capone was known for her ability to keep things regular despite her husband's illicit activities. She concentrated on raising their son and preserving their strong family life. Despite his reputation for violence and his involvement in organized crime, he was believed to be a loyal husband and a watchful parent. She was even recognized as his best asset. But we'll dive deeper on the topic of loyalty later in this video. Rise to power. During the Prohibition era, when the sale and distribution of alcohol were outlawed, Capone's illegal enterprise gathered steam. He was recruited by former Brooklyn mobster Johnny Torrio to come to Chicago, where he first worked the door as bouncer for a brothel. During his lifetime, Al Capone contracted syphilis, and it is very likely that he contracted it there. So much for a faithful husband. During the 1920s, he started rising up the ranks of organized crime. When Torrio took over the criminal network by possibly ordering a hit on the head mobster, Big Jim Colosimo, he made Al Capone his right hand. In January 1925, Torrio was gunned down. Luckily, he survived, but chose the then 26-year-old Al Capone as his successor. He took over slums, casinos, and the illegal alcohol industry, accumulating enormous riches and influence. Chicago outfit. Capone rose to become the brutal and influential boss of the Chicago outfit. He had authority over a number of illicit operations, including prostitution, smuggling, and racketeering. It is estimated that Al Capone's crime syndicate raked in $100 million annually. The Chicago outfit had a reputation for ruthlessly enforcing its dominance and control over its region, and for frequently using violence to eliminate competitors. This became evident in 1929. You know what else is evident? You are likely not subscribed. Subscribe to Crime Cartel for entertaining crime videos about the mafia, cartel, and more. St. Valentine's Day Massacre. The 1929 St. Valentine's Day Massacre is among the most infamous events connected to Al Capone's rule. The murder of 7 members of a rival group by Capone's organization startled the country and brought attention to the chaos and brutality of the Chicago underworld. Legal issues. Capone was an expert at eluding law enforcement despite his illicit operations. He was eventually detained in 1931. After being found guilty, Capone received an 11-year jail term, but it wasn't violence or his criminal operations that he got caught for. It was tax fraud. In the fight against organized crime, the government's conviction of him was an important achievement. Imprisonment. Capone was imprisoned and spent his time in Alcatraz Federal Penitentiary and other locations. His health suffered throughout his incarceration, and in 1939, he was finally free on parole. May supported him during his time in jail and paid him many visits. She provided him with emotional support throughout this difficult period. After being released, he stopped engaging in criminal activity and lived peacefully in Florida until his passing. Post-prison life. After being released from jail in 1939, Al Capone's family life carried on in a quieter way. He stopped actively participating in organized crime after his retirement and lived quietly in Florida with May and their son. In his later years, Al Capone's health deteriorated as a result of syphilis. He had May's care till his death in 1947. Life of May as a widow. May continued to live a long time after Al Capone passed away. She continued to raise their son, Sonny, who later pursued a career in the music industry while remaining largely quiet and out of the spotlight. The mystery of Al Capone's vaults. The 21st of April, 1986, 39 years after Al Capone passed away, a live television special aired where a vault of Al Capone was opened with hopes of finding riches or gruesome scenes. 30 million people watched. The walled-off underground room of the Lexington Hotel in Chicago was once owned by Al Capone, and what they found was shocking. Because they hyped up the show so much, it was a surprise that they found exactly nothing. Nada. Zilch. Except for some debris and several empty bottles. How has Capone influenced the modern mafia? The Chicago Outfit, one of the most effective mafia groups in the nation at the time, was one of Capone's greatest successes in consolidating control. He created a standard for how organized crime groups would conduct themselves in the future by eliminating rivals and establishing control over a variety of criminal businesses, including bootlegging and gambling. Aspiring mafia leaders looked up to Al Capone's ferocity and domination. Business-like approach. Al Capone employed a business-like approach to manage his criminal enterprise. He organized, managed, and operated his unlawful operations according to business principles. The mafia would take after this strategy, which placed a strong emphasis on hierarchy and discipline, media and public image. Al Capone became a symbol of the American gangster due to his fame and media attention. The glorified image of the gangster was influenced by his high-profile illegal operations, luxurious lifestyle, and defiance of law authorities. This portrayal of the charming yet merciless gangster still penetrates popular culture and the general public's opinion of organized crime. 90% of the people of Cook County drink and gamble, and my offense has been to furnish them with those amusements. Use of violence. The mafia had always used violence in its strategies, but Capone's willingness to resort to extreme measures, such as the St. Valentine's Day Massacre, signaled a new degree of savagery. With this strategy, the mafia made it clear to competitors and law enforcement that it was not to be trifled with. Expansion and diversification. Capone broadened the Chicago Outfit's influence beyond the city's traditional Italian-American neighborhoods and into the general public. He diversified the group's illicit operations to include political and labor union activism. Other mafia families would imitate this expansion and diversification approach, resulting in their participation in a wide range of illegal activities. Capone's fall from power and conviction for income tax cheating served as a cautionary tale for upcoming gangster leaders. His incarceration served as a reminder of the need to keep a low profile and avoid law enforcement attention. The contemporary mafia has adapted to changing circumstances and switched its attention to numerous criminal operations, including drug trafficking, money laundering, and white-collar crimes. Legacy. The public's fascination with Al Capone's life endures. He is recognized as a representation of the Prohibition era, which was marked by gangsters and organized crime. His nefarious empire, cunning strategies, and capacity to elude prosecution have made a permanent impression on both American history and pop culture. Al Capone's fame has persisted to this day because of the numerous novels, films, and television programs that draw inspiration from his life and legacy. It is surprising that a criminal kid from New York managed to become America's most infamous mobster. Do you know what else is surprising? How North Korea managed to steal Sweden's national pride worth $300 million. Click the recommended video right now to find out how North Korea pulled this off.